Hare Krishna everyone, we're continuing to read The Science of Self-Realization, the book by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Chapter 6, Finding Spiritual Solutions to Material Problems, and this section that we're starting today is entitled Declaring Our Dependence on God. Introduction. For many, the American bicentennial was a great occasion for celebration. In March 1976, in Mayapur, India, the editors of Godhead conducted a special interview with Srila Prabhupada, who took a hard look at American slogans such as "All men are created equal," "In God we trust," and "One nation under God." Back to Godhead. Next, as BTG. Thomas Jefferson put the basic philosophy of the American Revolution into the Declaration of Independence. The important man of the day who signed this document agreed that there are certain very obvious or self-evident truths, the first of which is that all men are created equal. By this, they meant that all men are equal before the law and have an equal opportunity to be protected by the law. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, in that sense, men are, as you say, created equal. BTG. Another point in the Declaration of Independence is that all men are endowed by God with certain natural rights that cannot be taken away from them. These are the rights of life, liberty, and Srila Prabhupada. But animals also have the right to life. Why don't animals also have the right to live? The rabbits, for instance, are living in their own way in the forest. Why does the government allow hunters to go and shoot them? BTG. They were simply talking about human beings. Srila Prabhupada. Then they have no real philosophy. The narrow idea that my family or my brother is good and that I can kill all others is criminal. Suppose that for my family's sake, I kill your father. Is that philosophy? Real philosophy is Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, friendliness to all living beings. Certainly this applies to human beings. But even if you unnecessarily kill one animal, I shall immediately protest. What nonsense are you doing? BTG. The founders of America said that another natural right is the right to liberty or freedom. Freedom in the sense that the government doesn't have the right to tell you what kind of job you have to do. Srila Prabhupada. If the government is not perfect, it should not be allowed to tell people what to do. But if the government is perfect, then it can. BTG. The third natural right they mentioned was that every human being has the right to pursue happiness. Srila Prabhupada. Yes. But your standard of happiness may be different from my standard. You may like to eat meat. I hate it. But can your standard of happiness be equal to mine? BTG. So should everyone be free to try to achieve whatever standard of happiness he wants? Srila Prabhupada. No. The standard of happiness should be prescribed according to the qualities of the person. You must divide the whole society into 4 groups: those with Brahman qualities, those with Kshatriya qualities, those with Vaishya qualities, and those with Shudra qualities. Footnote: Brahmanas are the learned and pious teachers and spiritual leaders of society. Kshatriyas are the military and the administrators. Vaishyas are the farmers and merchants. Shudras are the laborers. Continuing. Everyone should have good facility to work according to his natural qualities. You cannot engage a bull in the business of a horse, nor can you engage a horse in the business of a bull. Today, practically everyone is getting a college education, but what is taught in these colleges? Mostly technical knowledge, which is Shudra education. Real higher education means learning Vedic wisdom. This is meant for the Brahmanas. Alone, Shudra education leads to a chaotic situation, chaotic condition. Everyone should be tested to find out which education he is suited for. Some Shudras may be given technical education, but most Shudras should work on the farms. Because everyone is coming to the cities to get an education thinking we can get more money, the agriculture is being neglected. Now there is scarcity. Scarcity because no one is engaged in producing nice foodstuffs. All these anomalies have been caused by bad government. It is the duty of the government to see that everyone is engaged according to his natural qualities. Then people will be happy. BTG. So if the government artificially puts all men into one class, then there can't be happiness? Srila Prabhupada. No. That is unnatural and will cause chaos. BTG. America's founding fathers didn't like classes because they'd had such bad experience with them. Because before the revolution, Americans had been ruled by monarchs, but the monarchs would always become tyrannical and unjust. Srila Prabhupada. Because they weren't trained to be saintly monarchs. In Vedic civilization, boys were trained from the very beginning of life as first-class brahmacharis, celibate students. They went to the Gurukula, the school of the spiritual master, and learned self-control, cleanliness, truthfulness, and many other saintly qualities. The best of them were later fit to rule the country. The American Revolution has no special significance. The point is that when people become unhappy, they revolt. That was done in America, that was done in France, and that was done in Russia. BTG. The American revolutionaries said that if a government fails to rule the people properly, then the people have the right to dissolve the government. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, just as in Nixon's case, they pulled him down. But if they replace Nixon with another Nixon, then what is the value? They must know how to replace Nixon with a saintly leader. Because people do not have that training and that culture, they will go on electing one Nixon after another and never become happy. People can be happy. The formula for happiness is there in the Bhagavad Gita. The first thing they must know is that the land belongs to God. Why do Americans claim that the land belongs to them? When the first settlers went to America, they said, "This land belongs to God. Therefore, we have a right to live here." So why are they now not allowing others to settle on the land? What is their philosophy? There are so many overpopulated countries. The American government should let those people go to America and should give them facility to cultivate the land and produce grains. Why are they not doing that? They have taken others' property by force, and by force they are checking others from going there. What is the philosophy behind this? BTG. There is no philosophy. Srila Prabhupada. Roguism is their philosophy. They take the property by force, and then they make a law that no one can take another property by force. So they are the thieves. They cannot resist, they cannot restrict God's property from being occupied by God's sons. America and the other countries in the United Nations should agree that wherever there is enough land, it may be utilized by the human society for producing food. The government can say, "All right, you are overpopulated. Your people can come here. We will give them land and they can produce food." We would see a wonderful result. But will they do that? No. Then what is their philosophy? Roguism. I will take the land by force and then I won't allow others to come here. One American BTG saying, one American motto is one nation under God. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, that is Krishna consciousness. There should be one nation under God and one world government under God as well. Everything belongs to God and we are all His sons. That philosophy is wanted. Haribol. We shall continue tomorrow. We're going to stop here for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. The link to this book is in the description. Check out our website, shravanamdiaries.com, and we shall see you. Hare Krishna.